We began this series last week, even as 2025 ebbed away, and recalled what defined the year for many Nigerians: banditry, the near insignificance of lives, and the flight of governance. We also mentioned, by way of introduction of this series, that it took perhaps a divine urge by way of intervention in a hopeless situation for the US President Donald Trump to get onto Nigeria's case. That was a shock our government needed to realize that Nigerians' lives matter after all. As we also noted, for the war against insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism to be won, this government must take key steps devoid of politics. There must be a genuine recalibration of the entire security regime. The steps must be bold and sincere. Today, we look at the first of these steps: the identification and arrest of sponsors and apologists of this evil. Some time ago, during the era of late Muhammadu Buhari, the United Arab Emirates published a list of names who, based on credible intelligence, had links with terrorists in Nigeria. They funneled funds to Boko Haram and the likes. The UAE government tried some of them in court and jailed them. Here in Nigeria, nothing happened. The list was trashed in the bin and life went on as usual. Again and again, international groups and security bodies came up with identifiable names that have their links with these death merchants, expecting Nigeria to do something about it. Again and again, those efforts came to nothing. To know how deeply these networks have reached in government houses and agencies, a known bandit kingpin, Bello Turji, who holds the turf in the Zamfara and Northwest axis, had on multiple occasions called out ex-governor Bello Matawale as one of their sponsors and backers. He narrated how, as governor, Matawale took them in and covered them. Despite Turji's bold claims, Matawale was rewarded with the portfolio of Minister of State for Defense. Is it that state security have investigated this claim and given the minister an all clear? As we speak, Matawale is still Nigeria's junior minister for defense. With the recent rejig in the sector, consequent on the Trump threats, the main minister, Mohammed Badaru, resigned. Nigerians are asking why Matawale is still in that post. In a move that reeks of foolish audaciousness, Matawale recently dragged some media outlets before a Kanu High Court, seeking an injunction to restrain them from publishing anything about his connections to terrorists. So much for integrity. A wisecrack from my area says that when a hen farts, it becomes afraid of the ground. What is Minister Matawale afraid of? Indeed, these shenanigans go beyond Matawale really. They speak to the C in C himself, President Tinubu. Should Nigeria be at such crossroads if he were to live up to expectations of him? And that sums up our focus, which is that for this war to be fought and won, for terrorists to be annihilated, their sponsors must be fished out and dealt with decisively. If President Tinubu continues to play politics on this issue and withhold from touching the so-called untouchables, then we will be in for a huge inferno that may consume even his presidency by the time it subsides, if ever it does. The sponsors of this evil are known. They use money, supply of ammunition, saboteurs in the armed forces, and other apologists in various places in the government to sustain the war. They are identifiable. A former GOC of one division of the Nigerian Army, General Ali Kefi, made an explosive reveal of how the terror network works and the highly placed people involved. In the interview, which has since gone viral, the now retired general named names and made copious references as a result of an operation which he personally led at the behest of then President Buhari. His reward for going too far in the investigation was detention by the military police for 64 days and then retirement from the army. He is presently battling his retirement in court, not sure when the National Industrial Court will sit over his case. That is a clear case of terror fighting back. Its fangs can bite deep and hard, and those fangs are everywhere, represented by highly placed Nigerians working in concert with other non-Nigerian groups and persons. If this government really intends to restore peace and order in Nigeria, terror sponsors must be held. This is a tall order, but it can be achieved if our brand of deadly politics is kept at bay. Follow us on all our socials at Zerefat page. You can like, drop a comment, and share. My name is Ben Abraham, and this is Criminal Justice Focus. Thank you.